Imagine a world where the United States never formed an independent government. Instead of a unified nation, the states remained loosely connected, reminiscent of the early Articles of Confederation. This alternative history would have transformed the landscape of not just North America, but the entire world. In this hypothetical scenario, the lack of a strong federal government would have kept the individual states functioning more like independent nations. Each state, with its unique culture, resources, and needs, would likely have pursued its own path, leading to a patchwork of micronations coexisting on the North American continent. Without a central government to mediate, conflicts over borders and resources would have been inevitable. States rich in resources like cotton, coal, or timber might have leveraged their assets not only for economic gain, but as tools of negotiation or indeed for conflict with their neighbors. First, consider the implications for trade. The absence of a national economic policy and tariffs could have fostered intense competition between states. Depending on their alliances or rivalries, trade routes might have been established or disrupted, altering the flow of goods across the continent. States with extensive port facilities like New York or Virginia would have had a significant advantage in international trade, potentially leading them to dominate economically weaker landlocked states. Instead of a single economy, a fragmented economic landscape would emerge, perhaps fostering innovation and diversity, but also causing instability and economic disparity. On the international stage, the lack of a central government would dramatically alter diplomacy. Each state would forge its foreign policy, creating complex webs of alliances and rivalries with European powers and other emerging nations. States with strategic interests or geographic advantages might have vied for influence, aligning themselves with whichever foreign power promised the most favorable terms. European powers, always eager to exploit division for leverage, might have played states against each other, ensuring that North America remained fragmented and weak. The absence of a unified American voice would have had profound implications for the larger geopolitical landscape. The influence of Britain, France, and Spain in the Americas might have persisted far longer, with some states potentially falling under the sway of European colonial ambitions. The absence of a strong United States during pivotal moments, such as the wars of the early to mid-19th century, would have shifted the balance of power, affecting not only North America, but the entire geopolitical scene. Socially, the lack of a federal government could have resulted in states developing vastly different civil rights policies. The divisive issue of slavery, for instance, might have persisted longer in some states, while others moved toward abolition more swiftly. This disparity would further fuel tensions, making the continent a hotbed of social and political unrest. In conclusion, the absence of a unified United States government would have led to a continent of competing interests, fraught with conflict, economic divides, and international intrigue. Such a fragmented America might have struggled to find its place in the emerging global order, ultimately shaping the world in ways that are challenging to fully comprehend today. This exercise in alternative history allows us to appreciate the complexities and consequences of a unified governmental structure in forging a coherent and influential nation.